It was the twilight of the 19th century. The world was changing, and America was rising faster than anyone could have imagined. The once modest republic, born out of revolution and freedom, was now standing at the edge of a global transformation. In 1898, the Spanish-American War ended in victory for the United States, a victory that brought not only glory but also an unexpected burden. America suddenly held territories thousands of miles away: the Philippines, Guam, and Puerto Rico. For the first time in its history, the land of liberty had become a ruler of other nations. Many Americans celebrated this as the birth of a new era. Newspapers cheered that the United States had joined the ranks of great empires like Britain and France. The people were proud. The economy was booming, and the world was watching in awe. But beneath that, pride was a growing unease of fear that the very soul of the nation was being tested. America had always claimed to stand for freedom, not domination. Yet now, it controlled millions of people who had never been asked if they wanted to be governed by a foreign power. President William McKinley saw it as destiny. He said America had a divine mission to bring civilization, order, and Christianity to those in need. He believed this was the next step for a nation blessed by God. But not everyone shared his vision. Across the country, voices of protest began to rise. The most famous among them was the writer Mark Twain. He looked at the American flag now flying over distant islands and asked, "Are we still the champions of liberty, or have we become the oppressors we once fought against?" In the Philippines, rebellion soon broke out. The people who had welcomed American troops as liberators realized they had simply traded one empire for another. Villages burned, families were torn apart, and what began as liberation turned into a bloody war that claimed hundreds of thousands of lives. It was one of the darkest and least discussed chapters in American history. Soldiers returned home haunted by what they had seen. Newspapers spoke of victory, but the letters written from the front lines told a story of confusion, pain, and moral conflict. Back home, the debate raged on. Could a nation built on the promise of self-rule justify ruling others by force? Senators argued in Congress. Preachers spoke from pulpits, and ordinary citizens questioned whether this was still the America they believed in. The Anti-Imperialist League formed, uniting intellectuals, politicians, and activists who warned that empire would corrupt the republic. They believed power would change America more than America could ever change the world. But the allure of power was hard to resist. The new territories gave America military bases, trade routes, and influence across the Pacific. Factories grew richer, businesses expanded, and the idea of manifest destiny evolved into something larger, a belief that the United States was destined to lead the world. The dream of freedom had now blended with ambition, and somewhere between the two, the lines began to blur. As the years passed, America never called itself an empire, yet its actions often mirrored those of the very powers it once opposed. From the Philippines to Vietnam, from Latin America to the Middle East, the same question kept returning. Are we spreading democracy, or are we spreading control? History never gave a clear answer. Every generation has had to face that question again, each time believing its motives were pure, and each time discovering how complicated power truly is. Looking back, that moment in 1898 was more than just a military victory. It was the beginning of an identity crisis that continues to shape the nation's soul. America almost became an empire that day, and in some ways, perhaps it did. Not through the conquest of land, but through the conquest of influence, a quiet empire built on ideals, economy, and global reach. The world today still feels the shadow of that choice. Every time the United States acts on the world stage, every time it intervenes in another country's affairs, that same old debate echoes through time. Is this freedom or dominance? The story of when America almost became an empire is not just about the past, it's about the constant struggle between power and principle, ambition and morality, destiny and democracy. This is time storytelling, where history comes alive. If you enjoyed this journey through time, please subscribe for more untold stories and hidden truths from the past.